my Uncle Tom was my dad's youngest brother. He was my uncle that was only about 6 or 7 years older than I, so he was like a big brother. He had an uncle. So he got killed in a car accident at a young age of 21. And after that had happened, anytime I was training or doing something, he was always in my mindset to say, hey, I'm not going to let my Uncle Tom down. I'm going to do this. I can do an extra lap or do extra whatever I had to do. So he was my inspiration. The most important thing would be to do the little things day in and day out. Everybody likes to be able to take the slap shot because that's the most fun, and it's shoot it high in the corner and all that sort of stuff, but nobody wants to practice their backhand because it's harder to do. But I've always believed that I would practice the things I couldn't do well, so that when the opportunity came, I was prepared and I could be able to do it. So do the little things day in and day out. And it doesn't have to be on the ice. I mean, you can do stuff to make your wrist stronger so you get a better shot. You can, set up a target in your backyard with a piece of plywood and a tarp and shoot pucks. You can do all those little things that will make you better. So when you get on the ice, and I also know that ice time's expensive. So if you basically break it down, you got an hour ice time. Really, how much in that hour do you actually touch the puck or shoot the puck? So you can do a lot of stuff away from the game. I went to lunch with a player, Normie Allman. He was a player that had been in the league for a while. He gave me the advice. He said, Darryl, every time you get up every morning, you have a choice about how you're going to approach that day. Your attitude is so important. And when things are going well, don't think it's always going to go well, because it's not. Things can change, and when things are going bad, like they were with me, with being down with my broken wrist and not playing as well as I wanted, don't always think they're going to stay that way. You have a choice. Get up, you go with the right attitude, you talk about preparation earlier, and do those little things, and things will balance out. So that's his advice to me, is still the same advice I use today, even outside of the game hockey. Roger Nielsen was my favorite coach because he was one of those coaches. First of all, he made everybody accountable. He made everybody feel whatever their role was within the team and the organization was as important as the next. And he had everybody prepared. And he was a guy that he treated you like with respect and like a human being, respected that you had a wife and kids and that you had another life outside of hockey, and you weren't just a piece of meat. You were, and so I liked that. He's one of my favorite coaches forever.
That's great. How do you deal with being discouraged?
You just get up every day knowing that it's not always going to be like that. You just have to keep pushing yourself forward and making yourself better and keeping that positive attitude. And you can't look back. You can only deal with what you're dealing with now, knowing that you move forward, you can make a difference moving forward. But you can't let what happened. You can learn from it, but you can't let it get you down. You got to just keep pushing your way through it.
If you hadn't been a hockey player, what would you have done?
Well, interesting you ask that, because I remember in grade 8, so I grew up in a public school that went from grade 1 to 8. We had a principal, and he called me in the office, and we had to write what our three career choices would be, put it on a piece of paper. So number 1, I put to be an NHL player. Number 2 was to be a crane operator, because my father was a crane operator. Number 3, I left blank because I didn't know, right? So he explained to me that the difficulty and the challenge of being an NHL player was pretty low, a percentage chance of being able to do that. Encouraged me to stay in school, and I ended up fulfilling my dream and wishes, and never had to become a crane operator. There you go.
What is the biggest difference between today's hockey players and the players of your generation?
What's happened now, they're faster, they're way more educated on diet and conditioning and all that sort of stuff. Team play, defensive play, they learn all that from Pee Wee band, and the coaches are a lot more in tune to that. So, but the bottom line for all of us, you still want to make it fun, because you still, even though you're an adult, you still have to have the kid, the emotion, and all the passion that comes with that in order to be successful. So that part of it hasn't changed, or shouldn't change. It shouldn't be just about how much money I make and how long my career is going to be. It should be how much I love to come to the rink every day to